The Mongol Notes, Chapter 12, Sections 2 and 3. Make sure you're taking Cornell Notes. You're taking your notes during the notes on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is for post notes and the summary at the bottom. Be sure to do that. We're going to look at the rise of the Mongols. The Mongols are a nomadic group, and they organize themselves in clans. Clans are family units where you have different families that are organized together to form a clan, and nomadic meaning that they move around a lot. They are on the steppes, which is a very harsh grassland area. It's very cold and very barren, and so resources are quite scarce. Because of the scarceness of the resources, they're going to attack other communities for the resources. And so this really creates a fearsome group that is going to be nomadic, traveling around on horseback, and attacking other groups. So this barbaric group that is going to be attacking other communities and other groups, they're going to become very fierce. They're kind of like land pirates, if you will, that they don't grow their own stuff, they don't make their own stuff, but they're stealing from other people groups. Genghis Khan would be the first ruler to really bring the Mongols together. He seeks revenge after his father's death. He unites the clans by attacking others one by one through his brilliant organization, his strategic military, and his cruel terrorist methods. So it first starts off with him just seeking revenge on his father's death, but then he uses that aggression towards others. And one by one, he starts to pick off other groups and to really create his Mongol horde, his Mongol group. If it weren't for Genghis Khan, the Mongols would not have been successful as they would be. But really that brilliance and that strategic mind and that cruel terrorism is going to create this Mongol legacy. After Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire will become divided into four what they call khanates, named after Genghis Khan. You're going to have China, Central Asia, Persia, and Russia. And as you can see on the map right there, the China section would be the largest. The Russia section in yellow would be out in the west there, with the Persian section below that in purple, and the Central Asia section in pink there. What actually ends up happening is that because of this division here, there's also going to be a lot of cultural differences. And actually, because of this splitting up right here, the cultural difference is actually going to be one of the causes of the Mongol Empire's splitting up. So actually, after Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire will slowly start to unravel. Even though the Mongols will go through a golden age after Genghis Khan, it's really the Mongol Empire never has its full unity after Genghis Khan's death. Mongol rule, at first they rule very harshly, very ruthlessly. They're destroying the land, they're wiping out people groups, but then they start to create a time period called Pax Mongolia. Pax, as you remember, means peace, as we looked with the Romans. So this time period of peace during the Mongol Empire. What's interesting is that the Mongols are going to have to first be very cruel to kind of prove themselves, but once they've proved themselves, they're able to use a lot of peace. And so once they've set that legacy that they are the boss, they're able to be a lot more peaceful to the other people groups. They're going to start to adopt other customs. They're going to have a lot of stability because of that, law and order all across Asia and Europe. They're going to make travel very safe, and the exchange of goods are going to be very important. So those three were there. The customs being adopted, the travel and the exchanging of goods, the safer travel and the exchanging of goods, those three things are pretty important for the Pax Mongolia. So make sure you pay attention to those. The customs, the travel is safer, and the exchanging of goods. Then we come to the second most important Mongol leader, just after Genghis Khan, Kubla Khan. Kubla Khan, he's going to unite China, which had not happened for 300 years. China was very divided for 300 years. You had the different dynasties and the different groups, the Qin and such. So he's going to unite them together. He's going to move the capital from Mongolia to China. So again, China is going to actually thrive under Kubla Khan. He's also going to build palaces in present-day Beijing, um, which is the capital of China today. So as you can see right here, Kubla Khan, he's going to actually, during this Mongol Golden Age, this Pax Mongolia, he's going to bring a lot of prosperity to China. What is kind of interesting is that the Mongols under Genghis Khan brought a lot of terror, a lot of problems, raping, uh, death, destruction. But then after his death, Kubla Khan is going to bring a lot of peace and prosperity. Marco Polo, you've probably played the game before, the pool game. Marco Polo was a true person. He was a trader. He was a sailor. He traveled all around. He traveled all the way to China from Europe. He was originally from Italy. He's going to serve actually in Kubla Khan's court for 17 years. He's going to travel all around and then finally settle down in China and actually serve under Kubla Khan there. And so much of our history about the Mongols we get from Marco Polo during this time period. The Mongols are actually going to like to use foreigners as governors and different government positions because they thought that they had less loyalty to local areas. So basically, people like Marco Polo and other Europeans and such, the Mongols are going to want to use in the government because they feel like they have less of a loyalty to places that are close that might rise up and create revolts. The invasion of Japan, the Mongolians are going to try to invade Japan not just once but twice. Uh, the kamikaze or divine wind is going to destroy the Mongol forces. So the Mongols are actually never able to take Japan, predominantly because of this divine wind that destroys their naval fleet. But also the Japanese samurais and shoguns are able to defend against the Mongols as well. The Mongols are going to use the Chinese, the Mongolians, and the Koreans, and they're going to try to take Japan, but are very unsuccessful. And actually, the Mongols trying to take of Japan, their attempt to take Japan, actually ends up hurting much of the Korean population. So actually, Korea almost actually becomes destroyed as a result of the attempts to take Japan. The Yun Dynasty is created by the Mongols. They're going to tolerate the Chinese customs, the culture, the officials in the government. They are also going to expand trade. They're going to make the caravan routes safer. They're also going to preserve Chinese culture. So as I mentioned before, the Mongols originally are going to destroy and hurt much of the Chinese, but later on they actually end up bringing a lot of culture back to the Chinese, and they preserve much of their culture and bring China back to a place of prominence. After the fall of the Yuan dynasty, there's going to be a lot of civil discontent due to famine, floods, disease. So that's really what brings down the Mongol dynasty, this Yuan dynasty. Also, a lot of economic problems and corruption. There's going to be power struggles and rebellions. So really, it's no one date that destroys the Mongol Empire, but it's a gradual decline. It starts off with the Mongol Empire being divided into four different khanates, four different groups, and then you have different problems: floods, famine, diseases, economic problems, rebellions that take place, and so the Mongol dynasty starts to decline over time. The Ming Dynasty would actually take the place of the Mongol dynasty in China. Not that they take over Russia and such, but the Ming Dynasty would replace the Yuan Dynasty in China, and so the Mongols' rule would never resurge again. Make sure to put the big ideas on the left-hand side of your notes. Create a one-sentence summary at the end of your notes. Be prepared to share it in class. And thank you for taking these notes.